reflection of God. There's nothing greater that can be said, nothing more perfect that can be accepted than to accept being the reflection of God, the perfection of God, creation of God. It's all the same, and it is, the word is meant to take you into peace, into harmony, into joy. What else could we want but to truly embrace and allow the healing of love to transform anything that's in the way of that perfection, anything that's in the way of reflection. That is your scale. If you accept the perfection that God created, then everyone must be free. Everyone must be the truth of love. And everything stops there. Imagine that no one in the world is different than anyone. Everything that you see that denotes differences is perception, is meaning that has been gleaned from a separate identity. Now, because everyone has worked so hard at being separate, at being unique, different from the pack. And now in the spiritual journey, all of that work of believing that you were supposed to be unique, different, special, as those words are thrown around. And yet it is the vibration of your oneness. It is the vibration of the universe that is actually your vibration. When you are thinking of being unique or different or special or trying to have a uniqueness in some way, you're working really hard at trying to prove your worth. And what's really running the belief under the covers is the belief in scarcity. If you believe in scarcity, you have to be afraid because there is only so much in the belief of scarcity. And you have to get your fair share, your needed things. And one of the main discoveries in healing is the discovery that abundance is the truth of love, not scarcity. Scarcity is totally made up to hold everyone in fear and as a hostage, and to battle, and to suspect. What if somebody is trying to get yours? What if somebody is infringing on what you consider to be yours? Whether it's by nationality, culture, geography, doesn't matter what sets it up. The calling is to remember that you are the reflection of God in the perfection with all creation. And that everything in creation, you are. You are. Not a single you, but the I am is one with all creation. It's an amazing element to accept. Everything in the universe is speaking to you. Everything is communicating with you. And the only reason that it isn't really in awareness is because of the mind's chatter that kind of closes the window so that you can't hear the communication. But it's still there. And it's not different from you. You hold the vibration of every flower. You hold the vibration and the communication of connection with every plant, everything that lives, every ocean, every sea, every river, every lake. That vibration is within you. It's always with you, always. It can't be separate. So when you feel a sense of separation, deny it because it isn't the truth. Your emotional energy field is not giving you truth. It's giving you fear. Unless you are experiencing joy and peace and trust and harmony, then something has hooked from the emotions and is telling you what is real and what is authentic. It's telling you this, but it isn't. It isn't true and it isn't authentic. You are only peace. You are only truth, harmony, joy, light. Embracing that truth is the purpose of incarnation, to remember, to come home. That's the divine reunion, the reunion of truth that you're here to remember. You cannot be hurt. You cannot be changed from the truth of love. But the journey is to remember, to come home to that divine union. Only for the truth of love we heal. We ask for charity in healing. We ask to be released and revealed all that is true only for your love. We ask for help. The Divine Mother is the one who brings healing to every moment. And all of love knows exactly what healing is necessary in the moment. You can lean, you can rest, you can allow that in your welcoming of healing, the healing is perfect. It is exactly where you are, and spirit is completely in connection with that perfect spot. You may not be aware of it, and most likely not, but the Holy Spirit is completely aware of what healing is in perfection at this moment. Apenas por vosso amor, apenas por caridade, a vós te damos louvor, ó Virgem da castidade. Apenas por vosso amor, atendo nosso chamado, ajuda nosso cessar a curar a necessitado. Heal me of what is necessary to be healed. Trust in the divine to be completely aware of what is needed and how it should be brought into your awareness. You never, ever have to doubt or be concerned that some healing is going to go awry. It's not possible. The divine wisdom and universal intelligence of God is never mistaken. Never. Not out of arrogance, not out of pride, but out of the truth that it is not possible for God to make a mistake. God is the creator of the universe, and the universe is in perfection. And the only thing that takes your attention is a fantasy or illusion of separation. Sink into the trust that love, the truth of God, cannot be mistaken in what is offered. It is always going to be perfect. In the infinity of space, there is a divine presence, the brilliant presence of creation. And all divine beings surround that creation and live in that creation in perfect harmony. All the light of all divine beings brings light into the shady forest to be remembered that this divine light is everywhere and in everything, in that acceptance. In the infinity of space, this is where you live. This is where you exist, in limitlessness. No infinito do espaço, onde brilha a presença de Deus e dos seres divinos que habitam todos os mundos seus. Verde, azul e branco, rede Agube, mãe, rainha, no resplendor destas matas, Jesus Cristo, bom mestre, ensina. If you remember that these hymns were delivered to a particular beloved who was ready to receive it, but it came from the universe. It came through the infinity of space to bring sacred teaching. Accept it and let its divine alchemy transform. I need do nothing means that you are not the healer or the agent of healing. except through what you hold in your mind and your heart. But the healer is the divine, the power of love, the power of God. And when you accept healing, you are accepting and trusting in the universe. And you're taking and resting in the place where God lives, in your heart, in your mind, in every breath, in every element. It is all God. I heard God laughing, as God does. We all sit in God's classroom. I know I speak to this quite a bit, God's classroom. Because when you're out in the world within form, you have two choices. It can be the classroom, or it can be the battleground. The belief in the battleground is tempting because we have all spent 10,000 lifetimes figuring out how to get on the right side of whatever you think is the right side. But we are all in God's classroom. Love's journey unfolds through every process of life, through every situation. Love's journey unfolds. Divine principles are constantly being demonstrated all around, waiting for you to rest in the principles of love and bring love to every situation. We cannot learn the truth of this divinity through words or books or limited systems of human values. Limited systems of human values. The human values are protection and defense. And truly, it isn't God's will for you. And every situation, even though it doesn't seem like it in the moment, is a place of learning love. God is fully known only through love, through the recognition of love in each situation, which accepts everything as love. Love reveals the universe as a cosmic playground where everything and every being participates in a single magnificent dance. Everything is love and harmony. It's not always easy to step into the yes of compassion, the yes of resting in God. But it's what's offered in every moment. Everyone comes up against those situations that it's hard to find peace, it's hard to find harmony. And it's especially a very strong pull toward protection of some kind. We've all walked through it. We've all been there. Most of us have lived there for lifetimes and have not in those lifetimes been with the beloved. We did not live with love. We lived in battle. And this lifetime brings you to a deeper truth. Thank God. This deeper truth is everyone's. Whether they take it in this time or not, hold it for them and rest in the same peace, where everything and every being participates in a single magnificent dance. It's the funniest thing when you're in fear, as again, I certainly lived in my 10,000 lifetimes of fear. Was very intimate with fear. And sometimes we're so upside down in our relationship with fear and love that it's almost like you're being walked on a plank off a ship to be tossed off. It feels like that to accept God would be dire, because the defense system that you've been carrying is what you know. It's certainly what I knew. But take the leap. Take the leap to truth. Because the other direction will continue the 10,000 lifetimes. There are some teachers who get really radical, if you want to call it that. And they'll put the teachings into ways that can be shocking. If you've lived 10,000 lifetimes in the belief of battle, you can stay there or you can come home. And even though it seems that it's more difficult to love sometimes, it ends up being your heaven. It ends up being that when you say yes, you touch heaven. Eventually, you'll live as heaven in heaven. And we all celebrate every beloved who says yes. Because every beloved who says yes and lives in the yes is part of the greater yes. And we can lean on their yeses, join in their yeses, and begin to assume, the only place where assumption is helpful, to assume that everyone is the light of God. It's not a reach. It's not too much. If assumption comes up for anything else, kick it away, turn away. But to assume that every beloved is the innocence of God is our freedom. It is given to you to be the means through which healing And then the voice of God is heard around the world. If you can't say anything else or come to that place of peace, say yes. Just say yes again and again and again. It may be that you can't even whisper it because it seems so far away or so foreign. But in the softest, quietest place, find the yes. It is your lifeline to reality. It is the truth of love that will never leave you. It is the comfort of truth. And it is actually, eventually, the power of love that is carried through the yes. Truly, through the yes. If you're saying yes, that you are as God created, you can't lose. You are as God created, and that can only mean that you are perfect, that you are the light. You are as God created, and God cannot make a mistake. We can make plenty, and we can make a world that is nothing like what God has created. And for most of us, we have done that. But you have the key that love is your reality. Love is what you are. Nothing else. And God shouted, yes, 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 to every luminous movement in existence. Yes. Join in that yes. You're all familiar with the beautiful teaching that says, I've given this all the meaning that it has. Don't put that into a big situation. Let it live tucked in your heart. So that every time something is confusing, seems difficult, let it whisper to you, I've given this all the meaning that it has. It's not a condemnation. It's nothing wrong. It's just looking through a window that doesn't reflect the truth of God. And you want the truth of God to be your reflection. You want the meaning to be God's meaning. You don't want to carry the meaning from the past 10,000 lifetimes because it isn't the truth of you. The only meaning that has meaning is God's mind, God's life force. And that life force is yours. It was yours in those 10,000 lifetimes. But the secret of that is that it actually doesn't matter. 10,000 lifetimes, time does not actually exist. So even though we may have walked for 10,000 lifetimes, it doesn't change the truth of love. Never, never, never. Only love is real. The comfort of love is yours. Rest in it, learn from it, invite it, because it's what you are. The two declarations that always walked with me was only love is real, and thank God I wasn't right. Thank God I was mistaken. And in that, thank God I wasn't right, you can hear God laughing, because God waits for that recognition. Thank God I wasn't right.